when 11-year-old Zara Wilson set up her sidewalk art sale at Lakeshore Park. She had one desperate goal: raise enough money to help pay for her cancer treatments. With medical bills piling up and her single mother working 2 jobs, Zara was determined to do her part despite the exhaustion from chemotherapy. Little did she know that as the summer sun beat down on her purple beanie-covered head that day, a chance encounter would change her life forever. As people walked past, some stopping to buy, others averting their eyes, Zara never lost hope. She carefully arranged her watercolor paintings, including her favorite, a red basketball soaring through a blue sky, looking like it might never come down. Just as she and her mother were about to pack up after a disappointing day, a tall shadow fell across her blanket. Zara looked up, squinting against the setting sun, to see a very tall man standing there, his face hidden by the glare. She had no idea that this stranger, this customer interested in her simple basketball painting, was about to set in motion a chain of events that would not only save her life but inspire countless others. This is the remarkable story of courage, art, kindness, and how heroes can appear when we need them most, even on an ordinary day in the park. The summer sun beat down on Lakeshore Park, making the sidewalk hot enough to fry an egg. 11-year-old Zara Wilson shifted uncomfortably on her worn blanket, trying to find a position that didn't make her bones ache more than they already did. The purple beanie covering her bare head trapped heat, but she refused to take it off. Being bald was just another reminder of the enemy growing inside her body. "You doing okay, sweetheart?" her mother Darlene called from a nearby bench. Dark circles shadowed her eyes, evidence of too many sleepless nights spent worrying about medical bills. "I'm fine, Mom," Zara said, forcing brightness into her voice. She carefully arranged her watercolor paintings in chalk drawings in neat rows across the blanket. Each piece of art told a story: bright flowers that would never wilt, soaring birds that knew no pain, and starry skies full of wishes waiting to come true. A handmade cardboard sign propped against her backpack read "Art for sale, help with my cancer treatment" in rainbow letters. Zara had spent hours making the sign, decorating it with tiny painted butterflies and smiley faces. She wanted it to look cheerful, not sad. People didn't like sad. "Maybe we should move to a busier spot," Darlene suggested, watching the mostly empty sidewalk with worried eyes. "No, this is the perfect spot," Zara insisted. "Remember Dr. Ramirez said to avoid crowds because of my immune system." What Zara didn't say was that she'd chosen this location because it was close to the bench where she used to sit with her dad before he left them last year. Before cancer, before everything changed. A middle-aged couple walked by, glancing at Zara's artwork before quickly looking away. Zara's smile never faltered. She was used to this, the awkward avoidance, the pitying looks. It was like her illness made people afraid they might catch something worse than cancer, sadness. "Good morning," Zara called out cheerfully. "Would you like to see my paintings?" The woman hesitated, then pulled her husband along. "Sorry, not today." Darlene's hands clenched into fists, but Zara just shrugged. "Their loss," she whispered to herself, adjusting a painting of a red basketball soaring through a bright blue sky. It was her favorite piece. The ball looked like it was flying forever, never coming down, never hitting the ground. Free. By noon, the sun was directly overhead. Sweat trickled down Zara's neck, and she felt the familiar wave of nausea that came with her weakened body. But she refused to go home, not yet, not with only $17 in the coffee can beside her. "Here, drink some water," Darlene said, handing her a bottle with ice cubes still clinking inside. "And take your medicine." Zara swallowed the pills that helped with the nausea but made her feel fuzzy and strange, another trade-off in a life suddenly full of them. "How much more do we need?" Zara asked quietly, though she already knew the answer. Darlene's smile wavered. "Don't worry about that now. Every dollar helps." But Zara did worry. She'd overheard Dr. Ramirez talking about an experimental treatment that wasn't covered by insurance, something that might actually work when nothing else had, something that cost more money than they could possibly save, even with Darlene working double shifts at the diner and the hospital cafeteria. A few more people stopped by. An old man bought a sketch of a puppy for his granddaughter. A teenage boy chose a drawing of mountains for his mom's birthday. By late afternoon, the park had grown quieter. Families had gone home for dinner, and the sun was starting its slow descent. Zara counted the money in the coffee can, $43. Not even close to enough. Not even close to making a difference. "Time to pack up, honey," Darlene said gently. "You've had a long day." Zara nodded, too tired to argue. The chemo earlier that week had drained her more than she wanted to admit. She began gathering her remaining artwork, trying not to let disappointment show on her face. As they were about to leave, a shadow fell across the blanket. Zara looked up, squinting against the setting sun. A tall man stood there, his face hidden by the glare. "Excuse me," he said in a deep voice that sounded vaguely familiar. "Are you still open for business? I'd like to buy one of your paintings." Zara dropped the backpack she'd been zipping and quickly spread her remaining artwork back out on the blanket. Yes, we're still open." The man stepped closer, and Zara could see he was wearing expensive-looking casual clothes, sunglasses, and a baseball cap pulled low over his face, as if he didn't want to be recognized. There was something about him that made her heart beat faster, though she couldn't say why. "Take your time," Zara said, trying to sound professional even as excitement bubbled inside her. "Each piece tells a different story." The tall stranger nodded, carefully examining each painting before stopping at the red basketball soaring through the blue sky, her very favorite one. "How much for this one?" he asked, his large hand hovering over the painting like he already knew it belonged to him. Zara swallowed hard. She hadn't even meant to put that one up for sale. It was the last painting she'd made before her diagnosis, when she still believed impossible things could happen. $20, she said, her voice stronger than it had been all day. "It's one of my favorites." The man nodded, studying the painting. "Mine too. I like how the basketball looks like it's flying, like it might never come down." Zara's eyes widened with surprise. Most people just saw a simple painting of a basketball, but this stranger had understood exactly what she'd been trying to show. "That's exactly what I was trying to show," she exclaimed, a genuine smile lighting up her pale face. "Most people don't get that." The tall man chuckled, the sound warm and rich. He crouched down to get a better look at the painting. "You've got talent, young lady. The way you captured the motion, that's not easy to do." Darlene had moved closer now, hovering protectively near Zara. The stranger seemed to notice her concern and straightened up, offering a reassuring smile. "Your daughter's quite the artist," he said. "Thank you," Darlene replied, her posture relaxing slightly. "She's been drawing since she could hold a crayon." The man turned back to Zara. "How long have you been painting with watercolors?" "About 2 years," Zara answered, tucking a loose thread from her beanie behind her ear. "My art teacher, Miss Lowry, taught me before I had to stop going to school." A flicker of something, maybe sadness, crossed the man's face. "And why did you have to stop going to school?" Zara glanced at her mother, who gave a small nod. They'd learned early on that honesty was easier than trying to hide her condition. "I have leukemia," Zara said matter-of-factly. "The treatments make me too sick and tired for school sometimes, and my immune system isn't strong enough to be around so many germs." The man was quiet for a moment. "That's tough," he finally said, no pity in his voice, just understanding. "But you're still creating beautiful art. That takes real strength." Zara shrugged, though his words made her feel warm inside. "Art helps me forget about being sick. When I'm painting, I can go anywhere, be anything." "I understand that," the man said, surprising her. "Basketball was like that for me growing up. No matter what problems I had, they disappeared when I was on the court." As he reached for his wallet, he nodded toward her sign. "So you're raising money for your treatments?" Darlene stepped in. "Insurance covers some of it, but..." She trailed off, the weight of their financial struggles evident in her voice. "There's this new treatment," Zara explained, her eyes brightening with hope. "It's experimental, but Dr. Ramirez says it might help people like me. But it costs a lot of money, and insurance won't pay for it yet." "How much does this treatment cost?" the man asked, his expression serious now. Darlene shook her head slightly, not wanting Zara to think about such overwhelming numbers. "Over $100,000, Zara said quietly. "Maybe more." The man whistled low. "That's a lot of paintings." "Yeah," Zara agreed with a sad smile. "But I have to try, right? Mom works so hard already, and I wanted to help somehow." The stranger nodded, something shifting in his expression. He pulled out his wallet and removed a bill that Zara couldn't see clearly. "The painting is $20, she reminded him. "I know," he said, handing her a folded $100 bill. "But I think your art is worth more than you're charging." Zara's eyes widened as she unfolded the bill. Fair price for a masterpiece, the man interrupted with a smile. When Zara began searching for change, he shook his head. Keep it. Your art is worth every penny. Darlene started to protest. Sir, that's very generous, but. Please, he said, his voice gentle but firm. I want to do this. Something in his tone made both Zara and her mother fall silent. The man carefully took the basketball painting, treating it like it was made of glass. Do you mind if I ask what you're going to do with it? Zara couldn't help asking. The man smiled. I'm going to hang it in my office. I have a feeling it's going to bring me luck. Zara beamed at the thought of her painting hanging in someone's office. Thank you for buying it. Thank you for creating it, he replied. What's your name, artist? Zara Wilson. Well, Zara Wilson, keep painting. The world needs your art. He glanced at Darlene. Which hospital does Zara receive her treatments at? Lakeshore Children's Hospital, Darlene answered, a hint of suspicion creeping back into her voice. Why do you ask? I do some charity work with hospitals, he explained vaguely. Always good to know which ones are taking good care of kids in the community. As he turned to leave with the painting carefully held in his hands, a gust of wind caught his cap. He reached up quickly to secure it, but not before the cap shifted enough for Zara to see his full face clearly for the first time. The recognition hit her like a lightning bolt, those eyes, that smile. It all suddenly made sense. You're Barack Obama. Zara blurted out, her voice echoing across the quiet park. The man froze for a split second, then slowly turned back with a grin and removed his sunglasses. You got me, young artist. Darlene gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh my God, you're really Barack Obama. The former president of the United States was standing right in front of them, holding Zara's simple watercolor painting as if it were a treasure. I'm sorry, he said with a chuckle. I didn't mean to hide who I was. Sometimes it's just easier to walk around without being recognized. Zara couldn't believe it. Her painting was going to hang in Barack Obama's office. Wait until she told her best friend Talia, she would absolutely freak out. Can I? Zara swallowed hard, gathering her courage. Could I maybe get a picture with you? Nobody at the hospital will believe this happened. Of course, Obama said, kneeling down beside her blanket so they were at the same level. Darlene fumbled for her phone with shaking hands and took several photos of Zara and the former president side by side. Are you in town for long, Mr. President? Darlene asked, still looking stunned. Just a few days, he replied. I'm here for a charity event at the convention center. I was taking a walk to clear my head before tomorrow's speeches when I spotted Zara's artwork. As Obama prepared to leave again, he paused, looking thoughtful. Zara, you said you're treated at Lakeshore Children's Hospital, right? Who's your doctor there? Dr. Ramirez, Zara answered. He's the head of pediatric oncology. Obama nodded, committing the name to memory. Good to know. He carefully tucked her painting under his arm. Keep fighting, Zara, and keep creating. You've got gifts this world needs. With that, he slipped his sunglasses back on and continued down the path, his tall figure soon disappearing around a bend in the park. Zara and Darlene sat in stunned silence for several moments. Did that really just happen? Darlene finally whispered. Zara looked down at the $100 bill in her hand, then at the photos on her mother's phone showing her sitting next to Barack Obama. It really did, she said, her voice filled with wonder. Barack Obama bought my painting. That night, as Zara lay in bed feeling the familiar aches that came with her condition, she didn't focus on the pain like she usually did. Instead, she closed her eyes and imagined her red basketball soaring through the blue sky on Barack Obama's office wall, flying forever, never coming down. For the first time in months, Zara fell asleep with a smile on her face. 2 days later, Zara was back in the hospital for another round of chemotherapy. The excitement of meeting Barack Obama had faded somewhat, replaced by the harsh reality of her treatment. Each session left her more exhausted than the last, her body fighting not just the cancer but also the powerful drugs meant to save her. To make her hospital room feel less clinical, Zara had decorated the walls with her artwork, landscapes of places she dreamed of visiting, portraits of the hospital staff who had become like family, and abstract pieces full of color and movement that expressed feelings she couldn't put into words. You've brightened up the whole hospital, Zara, Dr. Ramirez said during his rounds. Would you mind if we kept some of your artwork up after you go home? It might help other patients feel less scared. Zara beamed with pride. You can keep all of them, I'll make more. As the day progressed, Zara grew increasingly tired from her treatment. She was working on a new drawing, a pair of basketball shoes with wings sprouting from the heels, soaring above a hospital when she heard a commotion in the hallway outside her room. The door to her hospital room swung open wider, and there, filling the frame with his tall figure, was Barack Obama himself. He was dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, holding a large gift bag, and wearing a smile that lit up the sterile hospital room more brightly than all of Zara's artwork combined. I told you he was real, Zara exclaimed triumphantly to Nurse Peyton, whose mouth had dropped open in shock. Obama laughed, the sound echoing off the hospital walls. Last time I checked, I was pretty real. He stepped into the room, followed by several nervous-looking hospital administrators in suits and a man Zara didn't recognize carrying a briefcase. Mr. President, the hospital director stammered, we had no idea you were, we could have prepared a proper welcome. This welcome is perfect, Obama interrupted smoothly, his eyes fixed on Zara. I wanted to see how my favorite artist was doing and check out more of her amazing artwork. He approached Zara's bed, seeming unaffected by the medical equipment, the smell of antiseptic, or the stunned stares of the hospital staff crowding the doorway. Hello again, Zara, he said, his voice gentler than it had been in the park. I like what you've done with the place. Obama examined the drawings on the wall one by one, taking his time and commenting thoughtfully on details most people wouldn't notice, the perspective on a mountain view, the expression in a portrait. Finally, he turned to the drawing Zara had just been working on, the flying shoes with wings. Now this, he said, tapping the paper. This is special. Mind if I take a closer look? Zara handed him her sketchbook, heart pounding with pride and nervousness. You've got a gift, Zara, he said seriously. The way you see the world, the way you show it through your art, that's rare. After asking for privacy with Zara and her mother, Obama presented Zara with a gift bag containing professional art supplies and a leather-bound sketchbook with her name embossed in gold on the cover. At the bottom was a pair of custom-designed basketball shoes in her exact size. The basketball painting you sold me, he said. It's hanging in my office right across from my desk where I can see it every day. Before leaving, Obama took photos with Zara and the hospital staff. His last words to her were, I'll be checking on your progress. Keep fighting, keep creating. As he walked out, Zara heard him ask Dr. Ramirez, could I have a word with you privately? The next morning, Darlene received a call from Dr. Ramirez asking her to come to the hospital for an important meeting without Zara. When she arrived, she found not just the doctor but also the hospital's financial director and a representative from the Obama Foundation. Mrs. Wilson, the foundation representative said, as you know, President Obama met your daughter recently and was deeply impressed with her artistic talent and her spirit. After learning about her condition, he had a lengthy discussion with Dr. Ramirez. The man opened a laptop to show Darlene a document with the Obama Foundation letterhead. Mrs. Wilson, President Obama has decided to cover the entire cost of Zara's medical treatment, including the experimental therapy Dr. Ramirez believes could help her. The foundation will also provide a stipend to cover your living expenses during Zara's treatment, allowing you to take time off work to be with her. Tears flowed freely down Darlene's cheeks. For 6 months, she'd been working double shifts, cutting expenses to the bone, selling everything of value they owned, and still falling behind. The weight of their financial struggle had been crushing her almost as much as the fear of losing her daughter. I don't know what to say, she managed between sobs. I can't believe. The financial director slid a box of tissues across the table. It's quite remarkable. In my 20 years at this hospital, I've never seen anything like it. When Darlene told Zara the news that evening, the 11-year-old's eyes grew wide with wonder. But why would he do this? He barely knows me. Darlene pulled her daughter close. Sometimes people recognize something special in each other. Maybe he saw in you what I see every day, a brave, talented girl who makes the world more beautiful just by being in it. That night, Zara added wings to her basketball painting in her new sketchbook. In this version, the ball wasn't just soaring, it was transforming into a bright sun, casting healing light on everything below. She titled it Hope Takes Flight.